I'm hearing so much emphasis by the men on money, 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 money. And it does take money to operate, right? And if you're not willing to grow a little bit in how you're communicating, even if you get a mail order bride, she's not really going to give you the real love. She's only going to be with you for your money.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome to Romance and Real Estate, where we
help you level up in life, love,
and money.
I just got enlightened to some things by y'all. So we're going to just go ahead and go straight to it. Yeah. And it's regarding the passport bros. Mm-hmm. I knew nothing about it or how it was defined. Mm-hmm. So we found a reel that will help everybody just kind of understand the perspective of what a passport bro is.
Yes.
Let's go, Mike.
The passport bros seem to be a high commodity nowadays, so let's just go ahead and get straight into it. This is another case of black women not minding their business. Y'all didn't care about mail order brides until black men happened to make it popular, but of course you feel entitled to being the BBC commander when something no longer benefits you, although these are the same men that you said you didn't want, didn't need, and they are broke. I'm going to be honest, going overseas to travel frequently and live does not equate to broke. But then again, this just simply speaks to the delusion and hypocrisy of women. These men have been very clear in their message. They've said time and time again, they wanted wives, someone they could build with, start their family with, someone they could create a legacy with. What y'all heard was they wanted someone that they can control. Y'all minimize being a wife simply down to being a slave, even so much as telling those other women overseas that they're uneducated and practicing sex tourism. And in turn, a lot of y'all have took your degree and traded it in for an OnlyFans profile. Nobody said anything when women were...
Well.
All right, that was a mouthful.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That was right. Yeah. So where do we start?
Well, this was new to me as well.
Okay.
So I wasn't just sitting around knowing about the passport bros. But I would say we do thank everyone for their engagement and for the comments, even when people disagree. You often say, we want to hear from you, even if you disagree.
Yes.
And, but because of the culture that we're in, people are watching just the clips and not coming to the full conversation enough to get all of the context of what we're saying.
Yes. So pause. So make sure that you're consistently watching the YouTube podcast, not just the clips. The clips is just to let you know something new drop.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. And share it with a friend.
Yes.
Share the value. However, because of the clips, the gentlemen were completely misunderstanding many of my points. And then because I guess, I don't know, triggered. And then because of the clips, the lady was just like, she's a pick me, not understanding that she's not single. She's not looking to get picked. She may just be further along in life and know a little something you haven't figured out yet. Right. But in that, when we made a statement and we were speaking on things, the men were like, you know what? Forget these modern women, passport bros. It's time for us to go. And I'm like, where y'all going? And that's when I did a little research because I like to seek first to understand and then be understood. And whether you're disagreeing with what we say or not, we want to understand other people's perspectives. And that's where I went to the hashtags. And that's where I found this queen who, surprisingly enough, she's not addressing the men. She's addressing the women who have a problem with the men. And so I set that thing down in my spirit. And I was like, what's really going on here? And you can hear people talking about how, you know, the podcasts are toxic. It's male bashing, it's woman bashing. And what I really hear is we've gotten to such an extreme state that we feel the need that we need to fly to other countries to find love that we can't find here at home. That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. She mentioned that the man said he wanted someone he could marry, someone he could commit to, someone he could grow with, someone he could build a legacy with. Yet all the woman heard was he wanted someone that he could control.
A slave.
A slave. So whenever something like that is so misconstrued, there's two challenges. It's the giver and the receiver. What lens is that woman receiving through? It could be past trauma, past experiences where when she did attempt to submit, she was taken advantage of.
Yeah.
So are we addressing that? Or, well, someone told me that I better not do that because when she did it, it didn't work out. So she wants better for me. Right. So they're telling me I need to be able to take care of myself. And so what I'm wondering these days is it no longer possible to meet anywhere in the middle?
I think that there is, because I'm good in my middle.
Come on now.
But I could say that I've been exposed to what she's referring to.
Tell us about it.
Yes.
You know, and so I'm not speaking for all men when I say this. I'm not, bashing women or anything like that. But there's a bunch of different ways to look at this.
Let's go.
There's men that are like passport bros. Let's go to DR. Let's go to Colombia. Let's go to Southern, South American countries to find women that will appreciate us and treat us as the men we deserve to be. Cook, clean, honor us, be faithful, build and grow with us. And so I'm Hispanic.
You're right.
Therefore, I understand why they think that.
Okay, please elaborate.
Yes.
First of all, the people might be surprised to know that you were Hispanic.
Yes.
Comment down below.
Say a little something in Spanish so that they know it's real.
Go on, give us something.
Give us a look.
Como se dice romance and real estate in Espanol?
I don't know how to say romance in real estate in Spanish.
Nobody believe that.
I was going to say, I don't.
Here we go, though. So, no, seriously, the women, the Latino communities,
Yes.
just to kind of like body, not everyone, but a large portion of them, still embody like the traditional ways that men and women interacted in.
Okay.
There are a lot of women who take care of the home.
Okay.
So when you go travel and you go outside of the resort, you will see that the man works a 9 to 5. The mom may pick up the kids from school. The mom may be cooking. When I went to Panama recently, I stayed with my, aunt. And so, and then later, second time around, I stayed with my cousin. The wife makes sure I did not miss a meal every time. She cooked, she cleaned, laundry. And so while we as men desire somebody to do that, if we're out, producing to bring back, there are men that see that and then say this though to the counter. Well, she might be great at home and everything, but like she may not be smart because she didn't go out there to educate herself further, right? So there's different ways to look at it. So I would say though that being Hispanic and going back and looking, there is it's not perfect. Like here, you have divorce, you have single women, you have all the above. But I will say though that there in many countries down there they're Catholic, and in their strong Catholic beliefs, like they function in a very traditional fashion, and they even if they're not Catholic, because not everybody is, there still is what would I call this, like there's a family, you've seen it, so now this is how you operate.
Yes.
What would I say that's called, kind of like
A family structure, like a
you see family structure, therefore it's mimicked by the by the legacy and everybody else coming around.
So in that family structure that has been presented where you're from in that community, would you say that the males also take on a certain position so that it's like, okay, if the woman is doing then everything that is financial is geared towards the man, and she has the time and the availability to be able to take care of everything at the home?
Yes, so I agree with that. There's some situations though, like my aunt was a teacher, so she did work. You know what I mean? And then my cousin, she worked at the airport. So like she did work as well too. But I do believe that there are more people that live in that type of structure down there than you see up here.
So,
but I think it's different.
Yeah. Can I ask what?
Yep.
When you said more people live in that type of structure, right, than up here. Again, none of us are trying to speak for all people, just sharing our perspectives and our experience. I have seen more of what you just described, where the man is working and the wife is also working and she's doing all this stuff in the home. And that's where I see a major issue, right? And I am definitely labeled more of the traditional type, because I'm about the 2-family home. Eric was picking at me earlier. Like, as soon as I got out of high school, I just wanted twins and be a housewife. That was my goal. I have no problem admitting that I had such low goals. What was it? Not failure, but low aim and sin. I was definitely sinning because I just wanted to be, I just really wanted to be a wife. I wanted to be that person in the house. I looked up to some of the women in my family and how they were the ones facilitating the very loving and communal holidays and safe spaces. And I loved how I felt cuddling up with them in front of their fireplace and hearing old stories. And I wanted to be able to do that. Right. So I valued that. I know that many women don't, and that's fine, but I did. But that just wasn't in the cards for me. That's just not what God had for me at that time. So then what I saw more of is what I just described. And if you have a woman that has the means of alleviating some of that stress, it's difficult to understand why the man is able to go work and then come home and that's it. But she's going to work and then she's coming home and she's still working. Why? Where is that okay? And so when I'm hearing passport bros, I wish that I believed that it was just the gentlemen who are saying, I'm going to find a wife so she can come take care of my home and I'm taking care of all the financial responsibility. What I'm seeing in our comments, though, is that it's even the 50-50 guys who are talking about they're going and getting a wife from overseas. And I'm like, really? Really?
So I don't know that many go actually do that. That's not that easy. So don't let social media fool you.
Well, people like to dream out loud.
Gotcha.
So won't you
and
give
the
us some
reason why I
perspective?
say that, just to translate it to the people, you have to go through a visa process for her to even get here. And their country has to allow it. It ain't can you enter the US? It's like, can you leave your country? And you have to have like reasoning and the documentation. So like that's not quite as easy. So I think that they go over there to fantasize and temporarily live that.
And then they come back. And then they come back complaining.
Because they just kind of had a brief introduction of what it could be like because they just kicking it, going out and dating, having fun.
Oh, so some nice staging.
That possibly could be. I can't speak for everybody.
But, okay.
Because I'm not saying there's been people who have gotten married and met and have gotten married.
Absolutely.
But then there's also others that just go for the fun and leisure, and they I'm going to say this: they meet women that are not as confrontational.
Keep going.
I would say yeah.
And so I think that that's where the lady said that you go over there to get somebody who you can control, because in essence there's less lip.
Okay.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And so just because it's easier for us to get dual citizenship in other places than it is for them. And that's what men do. And so like, I'm not saying it's just as right for everybody, but I'm putting my own assumptions and opinions per my experiences on it. But I mean, it just is what it is.
So less confrontational.
So there is a lot of effort that goes into the process of being a passport bro. Whether I mean, all the way from I gotta go get a passport. Have y'all seen the appointment times? Like my mama was literally like, it's 6 months away to get to renew your passport. So we're gonna start there. And if it's just to go for leisure, that's still a whole trip. That's still time. That's still effort. That's still money. And whether it's to go find a bride and then have dual citizenship over there because that's easier than trying to get her over here, that's a very elongated process.
Agreed.
That's a commitment.
When what it seems like is the male and the women and the men are saying the same things, but it's not being received. It's not being verbalized properly, and it's not being received. So the communication is almost going past each other. It's like, I want what you want and you want what I want. But if you could just give me this, and if I can just like, I don't want that. It's like, no. We really do want the same thing. Why are we not putting the effort in to communicating better with one another as to what we really require for ourselves and actually finding our mate here than going all the way around to go try to, it's almost like I'm trying to take the easy way out, but it's not easier.
Got you. And you know what's crazy too? At the end, she was just like, and ladies, y'all calling them broke, but it takes a whole lot of effort and money to make that, to be a passport bro.
Yes.
So, you know, so just to tap into your point. And I like I said, I'm just telling you how I see it, how I witnessed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know.
So
can I tell you this too?
We appreciate your
There are
transparency.
women that are ready to be chosen too when you get there. Like when you go out, like they let you know, like there's areas like where you go and like it's like almost just like it's like a swipe book, no swipe. You're right there, and you know. So like it happens like that.
And when you say ready to be chosen for tonight or be chosen for life, which one are you speaking to?
So I'm gonna
right
be
now?
honest with you in what I'm saying. They want to be chosen for tonight with a hope to get the life.
And
because they're in a third world country, it's
Right.
where 90% of the time when you go to these countries.
Yeah. And so, am I understanding that that's appealing to you all?
I would say that it's appealing from the front and from the front, and in the sense of image and a good time, because we're on vacation. And I understand we're resorts, nightclubs. You know, she's to be chosen.
Scantily.
So you know, representatives are in play. Yeah. So like, I would say from that aspect, yes.
It's a little heartbreaking to hear it. And I don't know, my husband's always picking at me like, you live in a bubble. Like you got to understand what's really going on in these streets, because you're describing our men, the leaders, the heads. And you're saying that it's desirable to go to these nations and have it just readily available to you, right? But there's so much risk in that. Like there's so many diseases out here. There's also the possibility of having babies with somebody that you wasn't finna fulfill that hope for her. And then where is your actual purpose in all of this? And it just sounds like so misled.
I don't disagree.
But that's sad.
So you mean to tell me that you'll get your hair done, your nails done, and your makeup done, but then you won't do anything to help you?
Girl, that math ain't matching.
No. So when is it going to be the time that we stop working on the outer things and start figuring out the inner things?
Girl, I think the time is now. And so for you, I'd encourage you to strut over, slide over, get on through, getandstaymarried.com. Because what we have for you is not just this great conversation like we're having today.
Yes.
But it's an entire community to help you know and love yourself, but focus on what we put in and what we put on. So all our clients have a personal stylist, a year with a finance coach, a flexibility coach, a sex educator, because there's a lot of people having sex,
but they not good at it.
Oh, don't let that be you. So go ahead, sis, slide on through, getandstaymarried.com. But for now, back to the show.
I don't disagree. That's
you never said it was. I'm saying it's sad. I didn't even use that. You don't find it sad,
but
right?
I'm in conversation with you, and I'm just saying that I'm just giving you the raw truth.
I appreciate it. But as you look back on it as an OG, as we say, right? When you really look at the whole picture, because this is like the thing right now. Passport bros. Like as soon as you hear a woman say something and it can in any way be categorized as, oh, she's a modern woman or she's a Renaissance woman, it's like passport bro. Like quick. Like this is why we don't need to talk to them no more. We're tired of talking to these women. They not listening. It's just time to go. And so for me, right? For me growing up, when I looked at the men around me, I saw them as hardworking, as respectful. Even in that one clip where I was like, I feel all men deserve respect. There were people who were like, swear. And that's just my perspective, right? And I believe all people, so I have no problem saying all men.
Yeah.
So I believe all men deserve respect. And I saw them as leaders and strong. And what you're describing sounds weak, right? Weak and led by a little head. And not the big head.
That's funny. I understand why you have that opinion.
Wow, when you said a little head, I was like, wait, are we?
No, I'm saying there's two. There's two. I'm saying that, and I saw a young man who said you have to have basically like dick discipline, but I don't think that's the majority opinion.
So when you say, when did he say that?
In our comment.
For that same thing, when you're a passport bro, you got to have dick discipline.
Well, he was saying that even when you are trying to go on with this whole passport bro movement, a man without dick discipline is easily wavered. Like you're going to be falling for anything. And that a man who's really in control of, he was saying like his future, his dynasty, his legacy, he has to have dick discipline. He can't be just out here willing to do anything because you're not going to be able to focus on what it is you were doing as a man. There's always going to be a new piece of what he was saying available to you. And how can you focus on actually achieving anything if you just able to be seduced at any angle?
So a passport bro is an expensive sport.
Okay.
That's just, you know what I'm saying? Like that ain't a sport that everybody could play. Just know that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So some people are getting their hearts broken right now because they thought they were just gonna get their passport. And
that's not a
that ain't how they
It's
work.
a rich man sport.
Okay.
The same way you will see some man with
mail order bride.
Yeah.
Expensive sport.
Oriental women.
Yeah.
It's just that ain't cheap.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that everybody using the hashtag, they're not even really able to play the game.
No, 120%. Like I could tell you that.
So, and I don't mean this to be mean, but if the black man is performing the lowest economically in our country, right? I'm not saying that should be then how is it that this is the whole new wave for the black man?
I think it's a desire. I think it's so the dudes that play this game, they got Airbnbs, they got affordable little cribs there. They pay the crib, keep it clean, do whatever. They could afford to come back and forth.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maintain that little situation.
But I'm sorry, I want to be clear. She asked about having discipline, and then you started to speak about income. If a man has income and he is able to play in this sport, are we saying that it's okay for him?
No, I wasn't countering that. Like, so I apologize if that came off like that. I wasn't countering the discipline with money, right?
Okay.
So I think that it's probably just a statement that I wanted to let you know, because I think that you were passport bro. Everybody that put that shit up can't do that.
Right.
Just being honest with you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's what the people want to hear.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like passport. That take a little bit of chump change.
Yeah.
In essence, you got you a little crib in there for about 50 bands.
Yeah.
She taking care of it. You come back, do what you do. You can maintain her, therefore that she ain't going out doing whatever she doing.
Right.
And so like it looks cool.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When Cameron was rocking pink, everybody rocked pink. That's the thing. But everybody wasn't rocking Cameron type of jacket.
Come on now.
That fur was fur. You see what I'm saying? That's why I say iconic picture.
Yes.
We can all see it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I just say that everybody who perpetrate passport bros,
they're not going to be able to actually be a passport bro.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
And therefore, they're going to still be stuck here in America complaining. So instead of wasting all this energy, maybe we could just focus on coming to a consensus and having loving communication and be where you are and work with what you have, right? Because continuing to express frustrations about something you'll never be able to experience, that will continue to eat at your self-esteem.
I'll share something with you.
Look, I'm scared. The face he just made.
I'll share something with you.
Okay.
So growing up, my mom was just like, you're going to marry a Latin woman. Like you have a thing for Latin women. I'm told this as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, as interest peak or whatever. So I understood what she said. She said, you always gonna love the fruit, food, and the women.
All right.
That you are, believe it or not.
That's you.
Cause she's just like, you's a Negro,
Mm-hmm.
but you ain't forgot where you from.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the truth.
All right.
You could ask my lady in front, I like certain things, right? And so what I had to understand is why she said that. And so at first, when I was younger, I think it was image. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that I had to come to my senses and what do I prefer, right? And so if I look at and say the things that I've said to you about that some men want, I ain't gonna lie to you to say that I desire some of those things, not all, right? Because I can't. You could have a stacked body, cook, but if you can't be a bird brain, you ain't gonna even retain me.
Right.
All right. So, but I have those things in that person outside these doors. So, though she doesn't have the European hair or whatever, but I got the qualities. So I had to dictate what type of quality I wanted in a woman to then be able to decipher who the person is for me. So that's how I've landed where I landed.
Yeah.
But I've been listening to my mama and just kind of hearing our conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the guy I'm speaking about,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, I didn't have no condo, but I could have been a little baby passport bro in the making because of the mindset.
Right, right. So what I'm hearing is that it had a whole lot less to do with the country and it had a whole lot more to do with the characteristics that you were seeking for. So what we're hearing is that there's people complaining about what they're not getting, but they're the ones who don't know how to vet and pre-qualify people to see what it is they bring into the table.
Yes. But I will say though, it's harder. Like if you cultures of Central America and South America in the woman are different
than
North America. And so the qualities that I am guilty of, I understand and even as a young adult. I understand because I've been over there and I've been posted up over there.
Yes.
Those qualities, though, that I prefer. But again, I can't do a bird brain. I need somebody's out there packing packages for us.
Right.
So like I'm building with somebody, right? Just keeping it a buck.
Yes.
But I have those qualities in her. Like she asked me, what kind of food do I want?
Right.
Sometimes from my country. And I just tell her the basics. I don't really always have a lot. But I'm just telling you though how I came and landed where I landed. But it's hard to find somebody with Shaniqua's demeanor. For me, it was challenging. That's not saying that I've not skipped over great women.
They just weren't the great woman
for me. Right. And so I say that just to make sure that people don't feel like, oh, just because I dated you, I'm not talking down on nobody. But I'm just saying, I would say that it's a little different. And the woman up north is starting to build a callus. I'm just keeping it a buck.
This is not the first time we've heard that.
I'm not trying to talk bad about black women. I'm not here, and I don't care about the feedback. But I'm just keeping it a buck with you in the sense of, it's a little different.
Well, you're not saying anything different than what we say when we talk about the women who have succeeded in corporate or are very independent and saying that if we want to have a family, we deserve to focus on how we can transfer those skills and apply them in our home and embrace the home life just as much as we were willing to embrace the work life. Yes. Because a lot of, like when you said confrontational, right? That works well in the workplace. Yep. Being willing to confront someone and get to the bottom of something. But that's just, that same energy is not going to work when you're trying to create a peaceful home. So
you know what? Like, you ain't got to always agree with everything that I bring to the table or I'm like just trying to propose, right? I think this is a way that you learn to communicate that you disagree. Yes. That makes it easy for me. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, we talked about men being raised by women and I'm a man raised by a woman. So like typically like when I'm confronted, I think you said something earlier about a day or two ago. He was like, it was you. The way you sound and it sound confrontational. But I was like, that ain't even like in me right now. Like, but the way I delivered, right? It sounded, but like that, I don't even got that type of
Word
energy
choice
for
and
you.
tonality.
But I hear what you're saying, right? But that's the normal for me.
Yeah.
And so like I just was. But I can honestly say I apologize if that's how it came out, because that ain't even
That's
what
not
I'm
your
trying to like
intention.
push. But I understand how it sounds,
Yes.
because I've been like, told about it, worked on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that to say though, like, she has a whole different energy when she communicate disagreements, and she don't always address it even right there.
Right.
She'll come back and be like, "Hey, bro," and she talks to me like that. So she might be like, "Hey, bro, like, can I talk to you?" And then like, but by then I didn't watch the game. I'm cooling, and then boom, and it's a lot easier for me to digest it. So I can't even come at her with that energy because she didn't come at me with that.
Right.
And so like that's just like, I don't know. For me that works.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't found that in years. I'm 40.
I understand. I also see how we're talking about all of these things, but it's coming all the way back to communication again. And remember, like the first episode when I said that, it was like communication out of all of this stuff, and I'm like, really, that's the foundation of everything. All of the complaints that we're having stem from not being able to communicate effectively and receive the message from the other person clearly, right? And even when you're discussing, like talking to Shaniqua, her ability to de-escalate the situation and come at you in a manner where you didn't feel disrespected or berated or demeaned, so that you could hear what she's trying to say. What I'm seeing in our comments, not what I'm seeing in our comments is the fellas are like, I don't talk like women. I'm not about to talk like a woman. Stop trying to make me into a woman. And I see a unwillingness to kind of grow in the space of communication.
Yeah.
Like I'm hearing, which breaking my heart, I'm hearing so much emphasis by the men on money, 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 money. And it does take money to operate, right? And if you're not willing to grow a little bit in how you're communicating, even if you get a mail order bride, she's not really going to give you the real love. She's only going to be with you for your money because you don't know how to talk to her.
So I also, I'm not on your level of psychology and all that, but like, I also feel though that's why women feel like control comes with that.
Control comes with like being in the home?
No, because the man has money. Like, remember, she's like,
oh yeah.
I feel like that's why she expressed that, because, and I'm telling you, it's a couple games you can't play unless you got a couple nickels.
This is true.
So I'm not saying that that's the healthy relationship that we're trying to help people see.
This is reality right now.
That's what all I'm trying to communicate, and I'm just saying, hey, from my experience, like this is how the game is played.
Yeah. Well, if they want to play a little different,
it's time for you to evaluate if you want to be a passport bro or not. But despite that, I think that that was brought up because you have that was brought up in the comments, and it was people disagreeing with your statement, and they felt like, hey, this is our way to go find what we want. But your solution to it is communicate and establish a better way of being able to do so. Learn how to communicate. So if for those who are trying to develop themselves to obtain a gentleman that would be worthy of, and vice versa, or a man that's looking for a lady that he want to prepare himself without feeling like he got to talk like a woman or whatever he said. How can they get in touch with you?
You can contact us at itsyouseason.com
or the Marriage Makeover on IG.
Passport Bros, I want to see your comments on these. You know what I mean? Holla at us. Peace.